Hello friends, this is Shelly from Koala Knits and Knacks. So glad you joined me in this tutorial. We're going to make this beautiful, beautiful beanie with a little bit of Fair Isle patterning on it. Shout out to Kari Shaw, a member of my Facebook group and also part of this YouTube community. And she made one of these beanies and sent it to me. She said, I think you might like this and others might like this. Why don't you do a video on it? And I said, thank you, I will. Now my beanie row counts are different than hers, but the section of the Fair Isle patterning is exactly what she had done, and so I thank you for that, Kari. I love it, and that was very nice of you to share that with the rest of us. So grab your yarn. I used Caron Latte cakes in cream, and I used Heartland yarn in the colorway Carlsbad Caverns. That's like the blue one that you see there. Stick with me to the end because I'm using Pom-kins so that I can put a removable pom-pom on this beanie. And these are genius. I just love them. The link for how you can order them will be down below in my description. So please go check that out. And yeah, I used my 46 needle Addi, but if you've got a 48 needle Centro, that would work too. So friends, before you get going on this, take a moment to hit that like button and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. That's very important to me that you do those two things. It helps my channel. So I'd appreciate that if you take a minute to just go do that, and then I'll see you back and let's get started. Just a very quick edit to this pattern before we get going. After I posted it and got almost to 1,000 views on this beanie, I was sitting in my craft room and I noticed the beanie. I just looked at it and I said, something's strange about this. I, by mistake, did 2 rows of blue after that first Fair Isle patterning. So I did the first row of color B, then I did the second row of color A, then I did the third row, which was the 2 colors together, and then there was only supposed to be 1 row of color A, and I did 2 by mistake. Never caught it, never meant to do that. So I have removed the video, and this is an edited version of it. So when you're looking closely at the picture here, you will see that there are 2 rows there when there should only be 1. But if you follow the video exactly how I have it now, you will get it right. Okay, I am so sorry. Sometimes that happens, and my apologies for that. All right, so if you have your 46 needle machine or your 48 needle Centro set up, we're going to take our Heartland, I got to look at the name, Carlsbad Caverns, and we're going to cast on. So let's get our white, last white and our first black in front of our yarn feeder. We're going to go behind that first black, in front of the next, behind and in front, all the way around. Okay, just letting it nicely slip through your fingers. I'm not putting any tension, I'm just letting it glide through, okay? As I cast on, and then before I get to the end, I'm going to change my row counter to 0, so I'm ready to go. Okay, and when we get to the last white needle, it should be in front, just like that. Open your yarn feeder, pop that guy in there, and now we are going to make sure that first one is down over those little red loops, our teeth, and we're going to knit 50 rows. Okay, so for me, what I do have a tensioner that I can add, but I prefer to hold it with my fingers. So I hold it between my thumb and my first finger, or sometimes I'll hold it between the 2 fingers like that. Actually, that's what I'm going to do for this one because I don't want any tension on it. I just want to be able to feel if there's knots in the yarn, or if I'm using an end piece here. See, it's actually, I thought it was longer than that. It's coming to the end. That's why I would have even started with this. But I guess because I needed to teach it. I can feel it coming through my fingers, so I'm going to pop that out, put it in between those 2 needles, and right away add some new yarn. So I'm just going to pop that between these 2 needles. I'm going to pop another one in, same 2 needles. I'm going to hold both tails. I'm going to knit 3 or 4. Then I'm going to take the both ends of that working yarn and tighten it up, just so my tension is tight there. Tie this off in a firm knot. I thought it was a lot longer. I didn't know that there was a little piece wrapped in the bigger piece, so otherwise I would have never started with something that only gives me 2 rounds. But we're going to keep it going. It's okay. And we're going to knit 50 rounds. So I'm putting just a very light tension on my yarn and letting it slip through my 2 fingers as I go. Now, you can hear how quiet my machine is. I think I'm going on 2 months now of having put that tin foil in the handle. I have a tin foil hack that tightens up my handle, and it just makes it work a lot better, and it lasts like for so long. The more it's in there, the more it compresses and becomes like a piece of metal, actually, I think. But every time I, like every I don't know when I'll change it, whenever I feel it needs to be changed, and you can feel the difference in your handle when you're turning it. And then that's when I take my machine apart and I clean it, or I just change it, whatever's needed, okay? But if you want to see how to tighten up your handle and make your machine run more smooth like this, then check out my video on tinfoil hacking the handle. Now, use it at your own risk, because it's just something that I thought of. But I will tell you, for me, it works wonders on my machine. I am not the least bit concerned that it's going to wreck my handle or my machine. I think it enhances it, actually. So with that warning, you can decide. Now, I'm using a leftover ball here to finish, and I keep stopping because it's a little bit knotted on the inside, and so I just have to keep working that through. But okay, you continue going, friends, until you get 50 rows, and then see me back. All right, so I finished 50 rows. I've got my last white, my first black, in line with my yarn feeder. I'm going to cut that tail off, or that end off the yarn, put it between that last white and the first black. Then I'm going to grab my second color, which is Caron Latte Cakes in cream. You can choose whatever yarn you want. You might want to stick with the Heartland yarn and choose a different color. The Sands color, actually it's called Grand Canyon. That would be beautiful with this. I was gonna use that, but I don't think I have enough, so I'm gonna choose the Latte Cakes, and I think I'm gonna actually even like it better. So it's just it's a different texture, and so I like texture on projects too, different textures. Okay, so I'm going to pull that to both ends of that working yarn just to tighten up the tension. We're gonna tie a firm knot, and this is going to be our brim. I like a 40 row brim. Okay, so we are going to, I'm going to cut this other one off that I attached to before because I didn't have my scissors with me. I like a wide brim so that when I fold it up, I know it covers my ears. Because it's a lot warmer, and when you live in Manitoba and you have the weather that we have, you want all the warmth you can get. Okay, so I'm going to knit 40 rows of this cream color for my brim. So my row counter will say 90 when I'm done. So I did 50 rows of the first color. I'm doing 40 rows of the second color. So when I get to the end, I will see you back. If you are new though, and this is maybe your first or second beanie that you're making, once it starts to touch the table, you're going to want to take care of it so that you keep your tension firm up here. So when it starts to touch the table, pick it up and roll it into a donut. Just like that, and keep doing that every 15 to 20 rows or so. It keeps your tension tighter around here so that you don't risk dropping a loop off those two little red teeth and dropping your row. Okay, so because if you let it hit the table, it bunches up like this, and that's when it gets really loose. So you're going to want to do that throughout your project, and then just keep knitting. So when I get to row 90, I will see you back. All right, so I am coming up on the end. This is 90, so I'm going to finish that row, and I'm going to watch for that black divider to come around. That's between my last white and my first black. I take a black permanent marker, then I never go past it. I always know if that's the end of my row, I got to stop when it gets there, okay? So I'm going to cut that yarn off. We're going to open that latch, put it between the last white, the first black, and we're going to take our first color again, okay? So now we've done our inside part of the hat. We have done our brim, 40 rows. So when it's folded over, it's going to be like a 20 row thickness, okay? And so now we are going to add our first color again. And this time I'm going to do a jogless join. The first time I just did a regular join, so you will see a little bit of a jog in the color, but I'm going to now show you how to do the jogless join. So we're going to take that, put it between both needles like that, go around the other way. Truth be told, I forgot to do it on the last one, but at least now I'm showing you two ways. So you put it between, on the other side of that white needles, okay? Again, both of these are in the same place, between the last white, the first black. You're going to take that new yarn, you're going to swing it to the other side of that white needle. You're going to knit 3 or 4 needles. Then you're going to grab both ends of your working yarn. Help that down under there. Tug it up so your tension is snug in there. You're going to just drop that down into there, and we're going to do the magic later with fixing the join, okay? So that you don't see that it's changed. Now I can't see it on this other one anyway, so that worked out pretty good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to knit 30 rows of this color. So you're going to keep going until your counter says 120, and then you're going to finish row 120. Okay, remind me later that when I get this off the machine, we got to fix that. We got to fix that jogless joint and tie it off. Remind me so you can talk to me. I wish you could. Oh, how I wish you could. Okay, but I appreciate all the comments that I'm always getting on my YouTube page, and then when you're in my Facebook group, we're constantly communicating with one another, and I love that. So continue doing that, friends, because I feel like we're really creating a very wonderful community. We've already created a wonderful community, and we're just letting it grow now. So again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that, and hit the like button. Those two things are very important to me, and it's what I ask that you would do for me in return. It's simple, doesn't cost you anything, you won't get any bad emails or anything. It just helps YouTube to know that my channel is being watched and will help to circulate it. So really it will help me, so I'd appreciate it if you would do that. Okay, and then keep going till you get to row 120, and then I will see you back. All right, so my counter's at 120. Now we're going to do one row of our second color, but I don't want to cut this off. I'm going to just pick it up and I'm going to pop it into the center just like that, because after our first row of, we're just going to do one row of this, and then we're going to do one row of that again. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to do the jogless join. So in behind that white needle on the other side, knit 3 or 4 needles. Take both sides of that working yarn and tug it to just tighten that up a little bit. Just drop that into the center. And we're going to knit one row. Okay, gonna go slowly. I see that black divider coming around. Okay, I'm going to now pick up my big ball. If I can reach down there and get it. I'm gonna open this yarn feeder. I'm gonna put that in between that last white and the first black, and I'm going to switch it out with my blue. Only thing is, I'll show you how I want it to be. I want to make sure that this blue goes underneath this white, okay, so that it picks it up, just like that. So this trailing one here is going underneath this blue one. Let's get this one out of the way. So, okay, underneath, this is going on top, just like that. Shut your latch. That's actually going to provide some weight too. We're going to do one round. Okay, so one round of color A. I see that black divider coming around that I used a permanent marker to mark. And there we have it. Now I'm going to take this and this out of my yarn feeder, but I want to make sure, it's a little tricky, I want to make sure that this last white needle knits this blue one, okay? It has to make sure that it's between the last white and that first black so that it knits it off. And now we are going to begin our Fair Isle pattern. So I'm going to take both of these. They're out of here because I need to use both. We're going to do one row. I'm going to just take them in my hands like that. I'm going to put this white one, this is the blue one here, the white one under the black needle, just like that. I'm going to rotate it. Then I'm going to switch it and put that blue one under. Then I'm going to switch it, put the white one under, switch it, and put the blue one, just like this, okay? This is how you make your Fair Isle pattern. Crossing it over and switching it up. It's fun, actually. Now, if you were doing like many rows, it would take some patience because we're used to whipping off these hats in no time, but we're not, and this is just so fun. Okay? So white, blue, white, and all I'm doing is wrist action, okay? And my thumb on the white one and twisting it, thumb on the white one, twisting, thumb on the white one, twisting, thumb on the white one, twisting, thumb on the white one, twisting. However it works for you, get the job done, okay? I'm trying not to put too tight a tension on it, but it's automatically, you're gonna put a little bit of tension on it, okay? So there we go. Just like so. And And when you get the hang of it and you're not on camera, you can actually go quite a good speed. Okay, and then I'm going to put that last one in there. So we're going to put that color A underneath that black needle into the yarn guide. Oops, caught around there. Just like that. So we did, I'm just checking my chart. Yeah, 1 row of color A. So we're gonna just 1 row. Then we're gonna do 1 row of color B. So I see that black divider coming around. I know that this one wasn't knit because it was the Fair Isle pattern. So I'm going to open my latch. I'm gonna take that blue one out. I'm going to swap it out with this ball. So I'm going to put that underneath that white needle because that last stitch still has to be knit. See? Okay. Then I'm going to take this white one, put it over top into the yarn feeder. I'm going to knit 1 row. Okay. Black divider's coming around, so I know I need to stop. I'm going to swap this out. I'm going to do 1 more row of color A, making sure that this white one goes underneath this white needle because we have to still knit that one off, okay? Put your blue in or your color A and you're gonna knit 1 row. Looks a little confusing, but it's really not. Just slow down. If you go to the top of your video, there's 3 little dots on the right. You can click on that and slow it down if you need to, so that you can see what you need to do, okay? So the next one, we're gonna do a Fair Isle row, okay? So I need to take both of these out. I can leave the one ball in the center, I guess, but I need to make sure that this last one gets knit, okay? So make sure that it stays being underneath that last white needle. I'm going to make my donut tighter, okay? I want some more tension on this. And then, because my blue one is underneath there, I'm going to start with my white one. And I'm going to go under there, and then blue, and white, and blue, and white, blue, white, blue. I feel like I'm all thumbs here. I got to hold this differently. Okay. White, blue. Now apparently there is a little white tool on Amazon that you can buy. It's a little plastic tool that has two little prongs basically, and it's got two little holes in each side so that you can string your yarn through that and just twist that little thing. I don't know if any of you use it, then you can say so in my Facebook group so that others can see. But remember, no Etsy promoting. You can post from Amazon or wherever, but there's no Etsy promoting in my group. So if you use it, just let us know, or even in the comments below, if you find that it's helpful. I find that I like the way I do it with my hands. I just get in the groove of it, but you got to do what's right for you, okay? So now I've got my blue one under there last, and I'm going to switch to color. I need to do color A first. So I'm going to open my yarn feeder. I'm going to just rotate that a little bit, put that blue into the yarn guide. I'm going to take my second color and unwind it here. I'm going to put it into the middle of my machine, just like this. And again, it helps give some tension. I am going to do 1 row of color A. I can't wait to see this on the other side. I think that this latte cakes with this Heartland yarn is going to be absolutely gorgeous. These are 2 of my favorite brands of yarn. So if you're wondering what kind of yarn can I use for my machine, these 2 are, in my opinion, the absolute best yarns to use. They just glide in your machine. So take the color A out, make sure it goes behind that last white needle. Okay, set it down, then pull up your white one, put it into your yarn guide, and knit 1 row. Okay, get some tension out of my ball there. 1 row. And folks, that's it for the Fair Isle pattern. So now we're back at the beginning. My black divider has just surfaced, it's come around, and so I know that's the end of my row. I'm going to now cut off my second color. I'm going to take that blue one out of the center. I'm going to put this one in, put that back into the yarn feeder. Okay, and then I'm going to knit a total of 11 rows. Okay, until my counter says 140, okay? So go until your counter says 140 because that's your last row, okay? Once your counter is at 140, you're going to cut off a long tail and we're going to remove our project. Open your latch. Make sure your yarn goes between the last white, the first black. Close your latch so you don't nick it with your needle and break it. And we're going to thread that end. And we're going to cast off. So turn your handle, remove that first one, remove the second one, third, fourth, fifth, until you get some slack on there. Then you can go a little bit further. Oops. Hold them on your needle with your thumb so they don't fall off. Put your finger over that next one so that doesn't fall off. Pull up and then keep going until you get them all off. And when you have them removed, I'll see you back. All right, project is off the machine. So now we get to see the magic. So we're gonna unroll it. But before we look at the top part, we're going to turn it inside out because we have things to fix. So if you did a jogless join, which is right here, you're going to put your fingers, one over top of the top row and one on the bottom row, and you're going to just press down just to get some traction on there or some stability on there. Then you're going to just pull just like what I just did. I'm going to undo that. I don't know why I knotted that. Why in the world would I have knotted that? I don't know why I do things that I do sometimes. Okay, and then you tie a knot, being sure not to tighten it some more. You just pull it until you can feel that knot give, and then it just brings, I'll show you now. It just brings those two rows together. Like, look at that. It's perfect, perfect, perfect. I love this so much. Okay, and so that one's done. I'm gonna just trim this a little bit if I can locate my scissors. No, they're way over there, so I'm gonna leave it for now. And then I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna do the same thing. Okay, pull it like that. You know what? Because that other one wasn't a jogless join. That was the first one that we did, but you know what? That worked anyway. So there you go. If you don't put it behind the first needle, who knew? I did not know that. If you don't put it behind that needle, you just put it in between the same two needles and you still pull it that same way, it does the same job. Does the same thing, okay? So I learned something new with you. And I think anybody who watched that just learned something new, okay? Because usually you go around the back of that last white needle, okay? So now we pulled this. We're gonna tie our knot. I'm gonna have to experiment with that and do it again and see if that actually works, okay? So here we go. We've got our patterning up here. We've just got two, because we carried our yarn, you can see where it's carried here. We've got nothing to really tie this off on, so all I'm gonna do is take this and feed it through some of the stitches, just the very top layer of stitch, till I can get to this other one. Okay, just like that. Then I have something to tie it off on. You're not going to see this anyways because it's on the inside of the hat. It's on the inside layer. Okay, tie that off just like that. And I went and snagged my scissors and we're going to cut these a little bit shorter. Okay, because I've got them secured, so we're not going to worry about it. Then we're going to put this back right side out and we're going to stretch our work. Okay, so you're going to stretch it widthwise all the way down and then lengthwise. Okay, that just lines up all your rows, makes your patterning beautiful, makes your work soft, and gets you ready for the next part. Okay, so the next part, we're going to take that end that's not the Fair Isle end, and we're going to grab that yarn tail, and we're going to pull. And as we do so, we're going to smooth this out nice, but we're not going to pull it as tight as we normally would on a beanie because we are going to use Pom-kins. These are my favorite pom-pom holders, and you will find the link to how to get them in the description below. Let's go ahead and look at that and order yourself some because they're wonderful. You put your pom-pom, whether it's a homemade pom-pom or the elastic of a pom that you faux fur, and then all you got to do is squeeze this and pop it in the little hole, and then when you want to remove it, you just squeeze it and pop it out. But you need a little bit of a spacing in there. So I take two of them. And I pop them into that little center. You can take a pen too. And I put them on the wide part there. And then I sew around that. So I have a space that I can stick my pom-pom in when I'm done. So just like that. Then I'm going to go around the front top row of stitches just like this. If you tighten it too tight, then you can't get it in. And no, it doesn't look like it has a hole if you choose to remove it, to wear it without the pom-pom. Nobody will ever notice. Okay, and we just are going to work that around. Just like that. Then you're going to tie a knot before you take it off so that it doesn't tighten anymore on you. Just like that. Then you can pull these little cuties out. You've got a little bit of a hole there. You're going to put your hand into your tube. If you can't get these, or you don't want to get these, there's a video on my channel as well where I've made homemade pom-pom holders out of a hard piece of plastic that I get at it's like a cutting board that I get at the Dollarama, and look for that video because they work really, really well too. These are I just love these ones though. I think that they're genius. They're more professional looking. Okay, now let's take this one, making sure that your tail is out, but we're going to do the same thing. So move that one on the inside down just a little bit so that you can work with these. I actually think that when you order these now, you get a little thing that you use to measure the hole, like that does what I'm doing here, but I don't have that. So I'm going to just use two of these just to make sure it's the right width. Okay, and I'm going to reinforce around that end the same way. Okay, so when I'm done that, I will see you back. All right, now that that's done and I've tied a knot, I'm going to pull this out. See, it's not that big that you're going to notice it. Pull it out. Then you're going to take this one from the inside and pull it right up close. Okay, you want the inside layer right close to the outside layer. But what I'm going to do, because I want to be able to put that pumpkin in there without a piece of yarn in the way, I'm going to take a smaller needle, it's easier. I'm going to just bring this out through the side of that top layer, just like that, okay? And then I'm going to cut this off so it's easier to work with. Oops, don't lose my needle at the same time. And we're going to tie a knot, just so the inside layer is right up snug with the outside layer. Okay? Then you're going to take that and you're going to hide it in through the two layers. Now you can choose to not put a pom-pom on it, then you would made that tighter, of course. We're going to stretch that out. Oh, I love it. Isn't that beautiful? You're going to fold up your brim and look at how gorgeous that is. You can wear it like this. I'm going to raise my camera 1 second. Okay, so I went and grabbed a pom-pom. I grabbed two, actually. I've got a white one. Oh, does this one not have an elastic on it? Well, yes, it does, but it's just hiding in there. Really good. Or maybe it doesn't. I just ordered this package, so that's really too bad. I'll get another one, but I can't decide which one I like better. I think this one's a little too stark, but this one's a little bit darker, but it's the closest I have. I think I'm still going to go with that one. This part looks white against the blue, so that's why I was thinking that, but it makes the brim, I think it made the brim look a little bit dirty because of the white was against it. So I'm going to stick with this off-white one, okay? And you can blow dry it for 10 seconds to make it beautiful, or you can just give it a good shake, okay? And then you're going to take your pumpkin. You're going to wrap it around and around and around, just like that, okay? So it's attached perfectly. You can see that on each pumpkin, there's like a side that's a little bit rougher than the other, okay? You want the rough side to go down so that when you when you squeeze this and you put it in your hand or in your hat, the rough side is against the hat and it'll hold it in place. Not that it needs to be there because it's going to stay in place anyways, but it's just a little extra measure, okay? All right, so you're going to get all those fibers out of the way, okay? Because they get in the way. This is also very hard to hold. Well, it's not hard, but it wants to spring back, which is awesome because it wants to do its job, okay? You're going to pop it in that hole. Come on, where are you? Just like this. See, so you can see it coming through both holes just like that. Then you're going to pull it up. See how it just sprung? And that's where it stays, okay? And then your pom-pom is attached to your beanie. Give it a good shake. And there you go. And to remove it, you just squeeze it and pull it out. Okay, friends? So isn't that like just gorgeous? Like I love these two yarns so very much. Like they're so gorgeous. I'm keeping this hat because this is beautiful. All right, so there you have it. Friends, I appreciate you so much. Thanks again for joining me in another tutorial. And I hope you show us in my Facebook group the beanies that you have made. I will put the link to that group down below. Please come over and join us. Take care, my friends, and have a wonderful day. See you in the next video.